Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is just a sit down talkity video about something that has been on my mind for the past, honestly, for the past year, and I've been wanting to make a video about it for ages and ages and ages, because I know that as soon as I make a video it helps me come to terms with what I'm struggling with, and it actually helps me release that tension. But I just never really knew how to make the video or what I wanted to say in it, or what, like, I just couldn't. I like tried to make it a bunch of different times, but I couldn't. So now, last night I had this realization that kind of tied everything in together. So yeah, here I'm going to talk about it now. The first 9-to-5 job experience I've ever had was this past summer, where I was working at the Terry Fox Foundation. Everyone there was amazing. Like, I was able to work with one of my closest friends, Joanne, and we had a great time, but it was also one of the most depressing times of my life. And it wasn't depressive because bad things were happening to me. It was depressive because everything kind of felt pointless. I was doing very menial tasks. Anyone could have done them. I wasn't able to challenge myself. I wasn't learning anything, so I felt like I was just like stuck in this one. I felt like my life was on pause. Like, I was doing the same boring things day in and day out, and feeling like I wasn't gaining anything from it, and that made me feel really hopeless. And made it so every day when I would wake up, I would just feel dread. And I've never felt so hopeless in my whole life. And that was the first 9-to-5 experience that I ever had. And ever since then, because it was such a terrible experience for me, I've been obsessing over full-time jobs, especially because I'm graduating in a few months. The common next step after you graduate from university is to start applying for full-time jobs in your field so that you can start making a living. So now you see where the problem comes from. On one hand, I'm expected to work 9-to-5 in a few months. On the other hand, nothing terrifies me more than the prospect of having a full-time job and living that lifestyle. And another thing that bothered me about this is that no one else seemed as petrified about this as I did. People even seem excited to be working. Why am I the only one that is so scared? And why am I the only one that can't just follow the path and be happy with it? Like, everyone around me just seems fine. Were their entry-level 9-to-5 experiences better than mine? Probably not, but why is it only me that is having such a hard time coming to terms with this reality in our current society? Like, full-time work is just what people do. Like, full-time work is what people do because they have to survive. Last night, I kind of had a realization that really helped me, and I realized that the reason why I'm so scared, it's directly because of how I grew up. So I don't know how many of my other videos you've watched, but in the past I've mentioned how restrictive my upbringing was. Like, my parents were very strict in general, and then you couple that with also being religious and cultural norms, and you get this very limiting existence. Like, the biggest thing that impacted my day-to-day life was my inability to really participate in any activities that took place outside of the house, because if I wanted to do anything that wasn't in the house besides like school and mandatory activities, I had to go through both of my parents. And a lot of the times they didn't have a valid reason. They kind of just said I couldn't go because they would mention something about culture or something about religion and then not let me question it further. So I grew up with this mindset that my life was very limited. Like, there was a certain path I could follow, and that was pretty much it. And that was a result of what my parents taught me, as well as all these religious rules that I thought I had to follow because I was raised religious. I had accepted it. Like I felt like there was just a certain set of things that I could do, and there was a lot of things that I couldn't do. However, fast forward to university, and I move 3 hours away from my parents' house, and all of a sudden I realized, wait, my life is fully in my control. I can do whatever I want. And that was a whole realization on its own, but that made me really excited. All of a sudden I went from having this very like limited perception of what I could experience in my life to having unlimited possibilities. And at that moment I made it my goal to experience as much as I could in this life. Like no matter what, like I just wanted to have as many experiences as I could. And that has been my life goal / purpose ever since then. And since then I've also been refining that, because I realized that, wait, I can just do whatever I want in my life. I should really try to figure out what it is that I want to do so that I can go and do it. I've just been learning a lot about myself, and I'm at the point where I have a very, very good idea of the direction that I want my life to go in. I know what kind of things I want to work on, and for the short term, like I know what projects are going to interest me, and I pretty much just know what I'm doing with my life, or at least I know where I want to go with it. So then coming back to the thought of working full-time, it just does not work together, or at least in my mind right now, I can't seem to find a way to merge those two things. Working full-time, that's a huge chunk of your day. That's pretty much your entire day. What you can do things that you want to do before and after, but it's very difficult because before you also have to like get ready for work, and then after you're so exhausted and you only have like a short window of time before you have to go to bed so you can wake up early again. I just don't know how to fit both of those things, and I'm scared because I went from things are full of limits to unlimited possibilities, and now it's like I feel like I'm gonna be put in this little box of being, if that makes sense, and my life is going to be dictated by my boss, and I can't do that. Full-time jobs are fully going to limit my freedom, and nothing terrifies me more than that. And that is why I'm having such a difficult time coming to terms with it. And it's not because I'm weird, it's just because I've had a different life experience, which has really shown me what I don't want. And at this moment right now, having a full-time job is definitely what I don't want. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with that right now, because things are looking pretty uncertain. I'm graduating in a few months. I've got kind of a short-term plan. So I'm done my schoolwork and everything, and I'm set to graduate like in about 2 weeks. Like I'll be done everything. So then I'll have April, May, June, July, August, 5 months where I'm planning to just do whatever I want to do. Garrett and I have 2 business ideas that we want to work on, but obviously with business you don't really know if it's going to succeed or fail. So we've set up a time in September to kind of reevaluate things and figure out what we're going to do from there, depending on what happens. And at that point maybe I will have to get a full-time job, but at this moment I am really focused on not having to do that at all, and finding a source of income doing something that I am passionate about and I'm motivated to do, and something that I wake up feeling excited about doing. And honestly, don't get me wrong, like this is not about me not wanting to work. Like honestly, I would much rather work 7 days a week on something that I want to work on, even if that makes me less money, than work 9 to 5 for someone else doing something that is maybe more profitable, but that I cannot dictate. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what is on my mind right now. I don't have much else to say. Like I said, I haven't figured it out. Hopefully this is the first step to resolving this conflict within me. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.